Hello, welcome back to the Clap podcast for the first visual episode we have ever had. I'm very lucky to be here with Emma Hayes, a wonderful friend of mine who studies film and TV, and we're going to be chatting about the latest news in Hollywood. Thank you so much for joining, Emma.
You are so welcome. I'm very excited.
I'm so glad that you're here. And as always, the Clap podcast scratches your itch for all things film and TV. Had to slide in the slogan there. But yeah, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm really good. I'm kind of excited we've gone to this stage. Never thought it would happen. Mm-hmm. But thank you for being the first guest for this.
I'm scared.
I'm scared too, trust me. But it's so exciting that we can get to do this.
I know.
I mean, you're super busy at the moment. I know. Yes. I really appreciate you taking the time to come and do this because you've got a lot going on. Do you want to tell some of the audience members what you've been up to?
So I don't know if Will's talked about it before, but we are currently working on our 16mm films.
We are.
And I'm directing my own film. So it is a lot of work and very stressful trying to learn 16mm and organize all the locations. And I don't know about you, but I found that it's very it's such a quick turnaround. It's like
it is.
We're filming in 4 weeks, which might sound like a lot, but it's just not. To have everything ready and be so planned out for your film, it's crazy hectic.
It is. I found the same thing. I'm producing a short film and it's just like that. It's planning and moving and trying to call in favors and stuff as quickly as possible.
Oh, it's insane. Yeah. Especially fundraising. How have you been going with that? Good.
We're getting there. We've gotten so many people who are really generous to donate to our film, and we greatly appreciate that. But we're getting there, and I think we're gonna have enough to survive in this film. I'm really glad about that.
Yeah, same. Yes, we're on the same.
So many kind people. I don't know about you. It's blown my mind.
Bad. It was honestly after I posted. Obviously, you're posting a GoFundMe, you need money, but it was I felt bad when people were sending that. I was like, guys, stop.
Yeah. It's literally that thing of you want the money, but you're like, don't do it.
I don't want your money.
Yeah, I feel so bad.
I've felt so bad, but I'm just so grateful, and it's just honestly awesome to see how many people actually support you when it comes to it is it's an awesome feeling, but it's also very scary because people are trusting you.
I love the premise for your film. I know it's been in development for a while. It's got a great little gag in there.
Yeah.
What's the title?
It's called Wet Money.
Wet Money. Wet Money. Do you want to run us through what it's about, or do you want to keep it a bit elusive?
I do want to keep it a bit elusive because if people end up coming to watch it, I want it to be a little bit of a shock.
Yes.
Because I feel majority of the course know the little bit that's in it.
Yeah.
But it's basically a neo-noir film about 3 guys who complete a heist, and they have this really dynamic trio vibe. And they banter off each other. And the heist, as successful as it is, the processes after go a little bit wrong, and that's where we kind of see that trio come into play. But yeah, it's very exciting to build the kind of the character of all the characters in the film, and it's been really fun so far.
How has that been developing characters? I know it's sort of your first time writing as well.
Yeah.
What's that process been like?
Well, if I'm being candid, I hate writing.
Yeah, okay.
I hate writing scripts. It is genuinely I can just write an idea and more a story. That's what really helps me. But I've gotten a head writer. So
nice.
So part of my group, instead of getting someone for sound, because we have to have
all
the heads of department, I got someone to write. So that's Johnny Kuch.
Oh, yes.
Johnny. And he is so good at writing dialogue and kind of creating character through dialogue.
Yeah.
And so he's basically been writing up all the dialogue scenes. I've been working on more action scenes, which is kind of my forte.
Yeah.
I like explaining movement and how I want things to look. And so it has been awesome working with him because he's brought me scripts, and the dialogue and the way he's built the characters works really well.
Yeah.
And I'm just so happy with it, and it's just made it's taken so much stress off me.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's not I have to have a final script. We're very much working together on this script, so collaborative.
Yeah.
So it's been really, really good.
That's amazing. Yeah, I'm so happy for you guys and how it's going. I love seeing the Instagram. Follow it.
Yeah,
Wet Money.
at Wet Money Film.
Yep, follow it. Respect. Yep. And I'm currently working on White Lines
White
_
Lines.
films. So yeah, we gotta shout out the films. You know.
Yeah, we have to.
We gotta
get some promo.
We gotta do it.
Anyway, yeah, how is White Lines going?
White Lines is going really well.
We've got
really
a
great.
final
Really.
script.
We are just about there. Like we've gotten all the story beats. It's as you say, working out the dialogue, working out exactly where we want to take the story. We have it.
Yeah.
It's just those tiny little kinks that we got to get sorted. But that will be done within the next week or so, and then it's literally down to getting the crew, getting the cast, and sorting it out. We've got a great group of people behind us. I'm so lucky.
Yeah.
And Ollie Ivanpool, terrific director.
Very,
it's gonna
very
be
good director. He's very talented.
really excited to show the world. It's gonna be a lot of fun, and it's so good to do on 60mm film. I feel like not a lot of film students, like we're pretty lucky as film students to be able to do that.
Such a crazy experience. Someone was asking me like, "Oh, why are you doing 16mm? Like, why are they making you do that?" And I'm like, we're one of, I think, two, is it? Like, two film schools that do it.
So. Yeah.
And as much as I'm like someone who's like, I don't think I'll ever go into real world and voluntarily choose to shoot on 16mm, I think it's such an awesome experience and something really good to learn.
Yeah.
It's been such a massive part of the film industry, like, as it's developed.
Yeah.
And something that has still continued to this day, which is crazy.
Yeah.
So I think it's so cool to be able to learn and know and use practically.
I agree.
Yeah.
I know about you. I've been going back and looking at some of the films that have been shot on film, and it like blew my mind that something that I had no idea was going to be shot on film was like Twisters this year, 35mm film for a big film about tornadoes.
Insane.
And I spoke about it with Brie on the pod episode, and it was kind of interesting to look at that. And we went into the film and went, this is shot on film. We're about to do film.
Yeah.
And so it's still living and breathing, and it's so good that we have the opportunity to gain the skills, because it's a different way of shooting, you know, with film, especially as film students where we don't have unlimited film stock because it's expensive now.
It's expensive. Like, we are very much being taught, like, all the principles of it and like how hard it is, and you just have like such a deeper appreciation. Like, I know, like, films like Oppenheimer, I didn't even realize that was film when it came out. It was filming your documentary, actually.
Oh, really? Yeah.
That was when I clocked that it was on film.
Yeah.
And I was like, that is insane for them to film something like that on film. Like,
and it's the thing with those IMAX cameras as well. It's the sound. It's 70mm film cameras are the noisiest thing you can film with, right? So the ADR expertise you need, because, I mean, Oppenheimer's a film where there's a lot of dialogue, a lot of close-ups, things like that. The sound of it is just insane. There's been a viral video going around with the film cameras on the set of Nope, and you see them, like, you can just hear the camera from miles away. It's ridiculous. So it's getting used to doing that as well. It's something that people don't even think about when they watch something like Oppenheimer.
Yeah,
it's the challenge,
like,
the extra challenge.
It was a crazy movie. It was like such an insane movie, but like the processes that would have taken, like, just through everything. Yeah, it was crazy. Crazy movie.
So let's talk about the films of this year.
Yes.
Have you had a chance to go to the movies with everything going on?
Yeah.
How's it been?
Well, I was just thinking about this before because you were asking me what movies I've seen, and like the last thing I've seen most recently is it was actually Coraline. I just thought about it. Yeah, I went
the remaster.
It was the remastered version. I didn't see it in 3D though.
Okay.
But yeah, then they like. Sorry, I've just realised that now. Yeah, went to see Coraline, and I've also seen Kinds of Kindness a few weeks ago, which was insane.
I want to ask you, as a guy who's a bit of a nerd about 4Ks, remasters, all that stuff, what was that like, getting to see a film remastered again on the big screen? Because I think it's something that has become a bit of a norm this year, where we've seen anniversaries start to re-release films in theaters. We saw it at the start with like The Phantom Menace, and then there were some other films that I can't remember, but I speak about them on the pod that you can go back and see them. I think they did Lord of the Rings for a bit. What's it like being able to go back and see films on the big screen? And was there an atmosphere about getting to see something that was kind of already existing, that people had already seen? I'm
going to sound so oblivious right now, but when I went to see it, I was just sat there and I was like, oh, cool, like they're screening Coraline. And I just remember sitting there thinking, like, wow, like, it looks so clear.
Yeah,
like, I was like, oh my gosh, like, this is insane.
Yeah.
Little did I know, like, it came up at the end, like, the processes of what it took to make it.
Really? That's really cool.
Yeah, they ran you through, like,
wow.
the team and, like this massive, like, team, and it's all about, like, the dolls that they used for Coraline.
Sure.
And the different processes they had to do, because they went from an era of, like animation, right, has gotten so much better.
Yeah.
Like, over the years, and so they had more, like, digital stuff. Like, the digital programming is so much more advanced now than it was when, like, they first released Coraline.
Yeah.
So they found that, like, they would change the doll and to fit like digital programming more.
Really? Okay.
Because they could do stuff on their laptop. They did so much of it physically as well. Like, they did so good, but it was just like, previously they would have done stuff hand by hand, moved her hair hand by hand. Like, I think it was a lot, not easier and not, like, didn't take less time. Yeah. But, just a different way of doing it, and it turned out incredible. But yeah.
I hope we keep getting that, because there is such a big back catalogue of films that can be modernized for the new projector systems and the remastering that can be done, and there is an audience for it. Yeah. Like, there is these tickets sell out. I mean, even things like seeing a film like Interstellar again in IMAX, sell out showings for its anniversary. You just go, people don't necessarily always need something new. They will go back and see something they love in the best way, because, you know, watching it on Netflix doesn't quite compare to seeing it on IMAX in 70mm, for example.
Going to the theater, I mean, like, as you definitely talked about, it's such a different experience than watching a movie just on its own. You know, like, it is so special, like, and it's such an event. And so when it was actually, like, one of my friends that was like, let's go see Coraline, I was like, done. Like, that sounds awesome. Like, going to see Coraline in the theater.
Gotta do it.
And like you were saying before, the atmosphere, like, there were so many people in that theater, and it's just like all the people that would have watched it when they were younger, and like, it was so like, oh, we love this movie. We all know what happens, but like, we love it. It's incredible.
That's so cool. So you also said you saw Kinds of Kindness. Now, I haven't had a chance to speak about this one yet, because it's one of the big films of this year that I missed. I saw Poor Things, but I haven't not seen Yorgos's new film. But I know it's a controversial one. I know it's an acquired taste, is what I've heard. Am I right?
I mean, what Yorgos film is not?
Like, you're not wrong, actually. Yeah. I was a big fan of Poor Things. I thought it was a great film.
I cannot, like, praise Poor Things enough. No.
Yeah. No, you loved it. Things. Yeah. Brilliant film.
Like, definitely, like, in my top 10 movies.
Yeah.
Kinds of Kindness, I knew it was just going to be a bit of like a what?
Yeah.
But I was speechless. I still have, like, not, every time I think about it, I just feel like I have not processed what I saw in my brain. But it was insane, and I think I liked it. Like, I don't think I'm, like, a hater. Like, so basically, I don't know if you know, but it's 3 different films.
It is with credits and everything, right?
It didn't really... Not really.
Not really? So how's the transition between the stories?
It kind of was just like, I'm trying to remember. I saw this maybe like a month or 3 weeks ago now.
Yeah.
But I think it was more like, I think it just faded to black, and I think it showed like the main actors.
Oh, okay.
Credits, which was, they're all the same actors in every single one.
Different roles between them. Yeah.
That was also another insane thing where, like, it was using the same, maybe 8 actors, I don't know, in each film. But every single film, they just transformed. Like, you were never looking at that one person and being like, oh, that was that person from, like, the other film. Like, they all did an insane job at
crazy.
Like, changing personalities.
Because didn't Jesse Plemons win Best Actor at Cannes or something when that film first premiered? I believe he won some kind of award for his role in, or roles in Kinds of Kindness. So I've heard that the acting's brilliant.
I think he was like the main person that I was like, especially I think it was the jump from the first film to the second film. I was like, what?
Yeah,
how are you, like, I'm not even like relating you to the other character. Like, this is a different person, which I think is insane. And it was just very impressive. Like,
this is going to be a hard question, but would you recommend it then to the general audience?
Oh,
Or
I don't.
yeah, it's hard. I'm imagining because I know some people come out and it's like their thing. They're like, this is the weird and wackiness of film I
Yeah.
love. Some people like, it's beyond me.
This is always how I like to explain things, is that like I wouldn't take my mum to see that movie.
Sure. Yes.
You know? 'Cause
Yes.
she would like.
Yes.
She would be like, "What the hell did I just watch?"
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think because she knows like I'm at film school now.
Yeah.
And she's kind of just like, yeah, you like very crazy taste. Like, this is an Emma type of movie. Every
Yeah.
time something's a bit like out there, she's like, Emma would probably like that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I
so
always just say like my mum would be like, "Oh,"
Yeah.
you know. But I always and like I have like my different friends. Like I have a friend who's studying at 16th Street, which is like an actor studio.
Yep.
And she's very much into those types of movies too. So it's just like if I took her to see that, I saw Poor Things with her as well. And she loved that too. And like you just like get really insightful conversation on it.
Yeah.
Like if I took her to see it, I know you always clock the like what the hell is going on.
Yes.
But you're also like that was really interesting, and I kind of liked how like the feelings that evoked. It was so
Sure.
it was so like I can't think of the word, just like
It was.
uncomfortable.
Yeah. It was
But like
with an underlying layer.
but you like there's something so likable. I don't know,
Yes.
like there's a likable quality about his films to me.
Yeah.
It's just like it's like supposed to make you uncomfortable.
little
but,
humorous as well. Little dollops of
Yeah.
kind of like
And then
moments that you're like,
things-
should I be laughing? But it's kind of funny. Like
and then it's just and then moments where you're like, what is happening? And you're like,
Yes.
it finishes, and you're like a bit like, what is happening? But your brain is like always constantly trying to make sense of it.
Yeah.
Like and like give it meaning, and like sometimes it just doesn't have it, but like
Yeah.
you find little aspects of it where you're like, oh well, this does this and this does this, you know.
Yeah. I love
yeah.
that with the audience though for that because it's I took two of my friends to see Poor Things, and you know when it's like the chicken with a pig's head or something or whatever it is, right? A friend turned around and looked at me and said, "What the have you taken me to see?" And I just turned around and went, "Yeah, I probably didn't warn them enough about what a Yorgos film is like." But then they came out of it and they loved it.
Yeah.
But it's that initial shock of this black and white. You know when like Willem Dafoe's coughing up bubbles or whatever, and it's it takes a second, but once you understand what everything is in relation to, you just get sucked into the world.
Well, my friend, because I took one of my friends who's not really used to like the Yorgos type film, and you may have to cut this, but she turned to me at the start of the movie because you saw Emma Stone and she was like acting bizarre, and she was like, "Is this like a bit ableist?" And I was like,
Right, yeah.
"Oh," like I was
Yeah.
like, but then like you were saying, once you watch the whole thing, it's like no, like that's not
No.
what it was like supposed to be, like
Yes.
at all. But that's the thing, like some people see those films and think about them so literally.
Yeah, exactly.
But like if you like listen to any of like Emma's interviews, she had to forget like all human principles.
Yeah.
To like almost like relearn becoming a human, but just without like the whole like it's like a role that like definitely changed her, and I think like it was just so impressive what she did.
Yeah. To go into that mindset, I couldn't imagine. Like, where would you start? Like, it's just
I couldn't do it.
phenomenal. Well, let's get into some of the latest news. Talking about some crazy, wacky films. Megalopolis has been making the headlines at the film festivals. We've just recently had MIFF.
Yeah.
And it's been all the talk there. They had 2 screenings of it, I think, and they were sold out within minutes. But since then, since the film festival announcements and things like that, we got a trailer released by Lionsgate. Obviously, the film is from Francis Ford Coppola, the filmmaker behind The Godfather, Apocalypse Now, big name, legend. It stars Adam Driver, Aubrey Plaza, all these big names. The trailer came out, and it was not what anyone expected. Yeah. You had the start of it incorporating quotes from some of his previous films. You had The Godfather, Apocalypse Now, and they were all criticisms from well-known reviewers and articles and things like that.
Weird.
Strange marketing tactic.
Yeah.
But I think this is them getting ahead of some of the more negative reviews that have been coming out about Megalopolis.
Yeah.
And it has come out that Lionsgate has pulled the trailer from the internet, doesn't exist
That's
anymore.
big. Like, that's very big.
Yep. And
for a
people
whole-
saw this. It wasn't
yeah.
like a few people. People saw this film trailer. And it came out that they said that there was some critics' reviews and things like that that were maybe fabricated.
Yeah.
It came out that there was a little bit of controversy surrounding that. And they came out with a statement saying that Lionsgate is immediately recalling our trailer for Megalopolis. We offer sincere apologies to the critics involved and to Francis Ford Coppola and American Zoetrope for this inexcusable error in our vetting process. We screwed up. We are sorry.
Insane.
I haven't heard something like this in a long time from a trailer.
In a very long time. And, like, for a production company to do that, to pull something when like, it's already been out, like, that is huge.
Yeah. I get what they were going for in terms of the marketing tactic, like, of this. Look, you criticized these masterpieces before.
Yeah.
Come and witness the one that's going to be the one for the ages. You know what I mean? Francis Ford Coppola has been criticized in the past for, from these reviews. And yet he's made The Godfather, which, it's by some the greatest film ever made. And one of the reviews was actually from a guy called Andrew Saris in the trailer saying a sloppy, self-indulgent movie for The Godfather. And you had other ones like A Spectacular Failure, A Beautiful Mess. And now it's come out that apparently some of these quotes were maybe fabricated.
Yeah.
But what an interesting tactic. I mean, this film has already had enough controversy and kind of information surrounding it that isn't necessarily positive. But now we've gotten this, which I just think is interesting. I mean, do you think it's going to be a big film people go and see, given everything that's going on with it?
Honestly, it could be part of the strategy to make this big deal and have Lionsgate pull it, and now it's gonna get the ticket sales. But the thing with, like, when you do something like that, it's like you're always gonna have it in the back of your mind, like, why would they do something like that? And if it's not actually a good movie, it could get people into the theaters.
Yeah.
But then if it's not a good movie, or if it doesn't live up to people's standards,
Yeah.
and it matches the quotes that
Yeah.
they've put in the thing, like, people are gonna be like, trash, terrible marketing, didn't like it. It's
agree.
it's gonna be so much harder.
Yeah.
Like, if it gets negative reviews, but it could go the other way. If people go to see it and it's the best film they've ever seen, it's gonna, like, good on them. They've done something, but you can't make false statements like that.
No.
I don't think you can do that, especially if you're putting someone's name on it. If you're just making up fake quotes, you're making up fake quotes. It's not hurting people, but you can't say that someone said something.
Yeah.
And big companies, that's a lawsuit waiting to happen.
It is, yeah.
So,
100%. And look, it's going to be interesting to see exactly what happens in terms of, like, the next trailer now is going to be definitely on people's radar.
Yeah.
And I just really want to see how this film plays out, because it was one of those things that struggled a while to get any distribution.
Yeah.
And now it's got it, and we've just seen it at MIFF, which means it's landed here. We're going to get it in September. I know it's Palace Cinemas are going to show it, and other movie theaters as well. It's going to show on IMAX. I mean, the film itself, this is a synopsis I got off the internet, and I just want to see if you understand it. Because from what I've heard, it's a wacky film. Some people love it. Some people like it's not for them. But this is the synopsis. Megalopolis is a Roman epic fable set in an imagined modern America. The city of New Rome must change, causing conflict between Caesar Catalina, a genius artist who seeks to leap into a utopian, idealistic future, and his opposition, Mayor Franklin Cicero, who remains committed to a regressive status quo, perpetuating greed, special interests, and partisan war. There's a lot going on there, I think.
I was confused. Oh, I'm gonna sound like not
No.
now. But, like, what was, like, it was saying, like, it was, like, in Rome, but in a modern America?
Yes. So it's it's like a Roman epic in a modern America.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. Okay.
I think that's what this synopsis means. I can't remember what source I got it from. I think it was from, like, the teaser trailer, like, synopsis. But I believe it's sort of supposed to be this big epic, but set in this modern interpretation, I'm assuming, of some of the issues that the world is having, and especially America, with sort of social differences at the moment. And I think this is kind of doing it in a imagined futuristic America.
Right.
I think that's how it's going to be. But big names. You got Adam Driver and stuff, but wow, what an interesting film this year.
That is going to be one. that's gonna get people in the theaters, especially after the controversy.
It will.
So
And something new as well.
It
It's
is-
crazy just to say.
it is something new, but like, yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. See, that's a film, honestly, because now I know about this whole controversy. I'm like, I'll probably go see it.
Yeah.
If I hadn't known about the
Who knows?
controversy, I probably would have been like, that's not a film I want to see, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's a little bit like, well, it's completely different, but when now people are saying, sometimes these controversies surrounding marketing actually help films get an audience, and it's,
Yeah.
a little bit like the Spider-Man thing of like,
Yeah.
were the leaks from Sony real or not? Like,
Yeah.
were they purposely? And obviously it's a completely different case, but it's interesting. You always wonder, like, will this end up playing on their behalf?
Yeah, like will it be in their favor? And that's what I think something that we're probably going to talk about, but the same as the Blake Lively movie that's just come out.
Yes.
I think a lot of people are going to see that now. But also because there's so much flame and they want to see like how the actual movie is.
Yes. Talk to me about this. I don't get it. I don't get it. I haven't
Blake
seen with it.
Lively drama.
Bree's seen it, but I haven't had a chance to see it yet. What's going on? I don't get it.
I don't know a whole lot. I haven't seen the movie and I haven't read the book.
Okay.
But I have always been a really big Blake Lively fan.
Yeah.
I've watched all of Gossip Girl a million times. So this was like particularly relevant to me. So basically she's getting like flamed for past interviews, like how she's like kind of treated the interviewers. And also like the way she's handling the press
Okay.
in the film.
Right.
So I think it's mainly like how she's like kind of been, because I don't know if you know much about the film, but it's about
Little
like a
bit.
domestic abuse situation.
Yeah. Right.
And she's the woman and like she's getting abused by the man. I presume. I don't want to say anything like too wrong, but I know that's the gist. And she's like at press interviews, the guy. Oh, what I also found out the other day is that the guy, so the lead guy.
Yeah. Justin Baldoni,
Yes,
who's also the director.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's the director and
Sure.
the actor, which I was like also like that could conflict.
Yeah. Definitely.
So I've heard that on set they didn't really get along because he's
Okay.
acting and he's directing, and she was like trying to make creative decisions. Like he would direct her in a certain way and she'd be like, no. Oh, and she's also producing it as well.
Oh, okay. Right.
Which makes it's so
There's
hard.
a lot of things going on there. Yeah.
Like I think, yeah.
Yeah.
So she's producing and acting in it. He's directing and acting in it. And so she was like trying to be like, no, I don't want to do this and I don't want to do this. So there's already like a bit of conflict there. That's very supposed. But then at interviews and red carpets and stuff, she's been very like not addressed like the situations or been very supportive
Right.
of the situations. He's there saying like, they're like, how do you feel about this movie? And he's saying it's not about me. Like it is about Blake and it's about all the women out there that struggle with this. Like I'm not the important person. He's very like respectful. Oh my God. He's really like respectful about it. And then, she's just like kind of the polar opposite. Like he's out here like providing resources and like like really speaking up for it. And on the flip, she's kind of like, so like she's like bring your girlfriends and come in your florals and watch the movie.
Right. Which is. That makes it sound like it's a fun rom-com or something, which is clearly not like what this is.
What people like, what you would say to anyone but you. Like,
yes,
type of
yes,
movie.
something a little
rom-com.
lighthearted. This does not sound that way.
They just like it's
Yeah.
so like quite inappropriate.
Yes.
And then there was also another interview where she asked like this interviewer asked her like a really like intellectual question. He said, people are probably going to want to, like, when they see you on the street, they're probably going to want to come up to you and ask how acting this role was. Like, what is the best way to, like, kind of, like, go about that? And, like, how should they, like, handle, like, people that have been through the situation, I'm saying. Like, they'll come up to her. And she basically said, like... And then she turned it into a joke. She turned the question into a joke about how she's, like... She was like, I'll give them my number. I'll give them my social security number. And was just like, I can do phone tracking, blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
And everyone was like, That was a really serious question, and that is going to happen.
So yeah, super interesting about the It Ends With Us controversy. I guess we'll have to see. I think the film's doing all right at the box office. Not amazing, but not terrible for a film of, I guess, its scale.
Well, I think it was a really important film.
Yeah.
That was made, but it's honestly more about it's being overshadowed by what's happening with Blake and how she's handling that. But yeah, I'm just kind of seeing what happens because I don't want to not like Blake Lively, but I also don't want to support someone who's gonna say stuff like that.
Yeah,
I think it's a bit, you need to have more social awareness about what you're doing.
I agree. Well, I guess some of the big news that we've had here is MIFF. I don't know if you've had a chance to engage with any of that. How have you felt?
I was looking at movies really early on, but honestly, when we've started semester, it's literally just been so full on. I actually have not had a chance. I haven't even booked a ticket.
It's
going to be over before I know it.
Yeah. Well, I just thought I'd mention, I saw two films that I really enjoyed, The Substance, and I saw The TV Glow. I enjoyed The Substance significantly more. I thought that was a really great film.
Mm-hmm.
But just some news of note, I guess, because it's relevant to our home. Matthew Rankin won Best Director of Universal Language, so that's a $140,000 prize, which is nice. Always good. We also had some other winners, including Flow, a film called Flathead, and another film called Elemania. So some great little wins there.
Nice.
Hopefully some films that now get a little bit more publicity with that, and then we get some good films from around the world and Australian films.
Yeah. So what was Substance about?
Substance was a film starring Demi Moore, and it's sort of a body horror film.
Oh, I think I read the description of this. Yeah.
Really good, and it's basically about this actress who's kind of past her prime in Hollywood's eyes, where she's now gone to an age where they want to replace her with someone younger and conventionally more attractive. Yeah. And basically she gets this opportunity to take a drug that turns her into her best self, her young, hot self.
Yeah.
And that's sort of what the film's about, is then this thing of every week she has to be her old self and her young self, and the conflict that can come from that, and the jealousy between bodies and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very interesting, very much about the female body image, and I just thought it was so engaging and so, as someone who, it's hard to relate to that. You see this on the screen, you go, wow, this is insane how they treat people like that in modern times.
Crazy,
that you reach a certain age and you're considered unusable, whatever, we need something new.
Yeah.
And then imagine then if you could do both, and then how you'd feel every time you had to switch. And there's some interesting elements at play. I highly, highly recommend. Really interesting film.
I think that's a really interesting notion, especially in Hollywood.
Yeah.
When celebrities get to an age, because especially when you get famous really young, you get typecast into roles.
Yes.
It's really interesting with child actors as well. You get typecast into a role before they've even gone through puberty. And then when they get older, it's just kind of what are they getting cast in?
Yeah.
Because the whole world has seen them as this one thing, and then it's just so massive to then progress into a career.
And so I highly recommend. Really interesting film.
Yeah, wow.
Great one. I saw The TV Glow. Wasn't really my thing, but I appreciated it. It was a little bit, I didn't quite understand everything that was going on, but I thought it was visually stunning.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it just wasn't for me. The audience loved it. I didn't connect with it on the level that everyone else did.
Okay.
But I've heard people really enjoying it, so good for them.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about something completely separate in the world of films, we had D23. So we had Disney's Expo, where they kind of announced their future slate. They make a big deal for Disney fans. From Pixar to Marvel, you had everything there.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you heard much about this.
No, actually, this is
so we'll run through some of them. I don't know if you're a big comic book fan lover or a Pixar lover. I don't know whether Disney's a big part of your film viewership.
I'm not. I can't say I'm super locked in, but I do love a bit of Disney and Pixar.
Do love a bit of Pixar. I love a bit of Pixar, and that was the real one. I thought they had really good announcements. I thought that was the one that surprised me the most out of all things. But we'll start off with Avatar 3.
Oh yeah,
got a new title.
Yeah.
Fire and Ash, which is great.
Crazy, because they started. Am I wrong in saying they started it straight after
Yes.
The second Avatar.
They did. They've been doing it back to back. So this is one that's been definitely in the works for a while, and it's going to get a December 19th, 2025 release.
Yeah,
so we're looking at just over a year for that one, which is really exciting. So I loved Avatar: Way of Water.
That seems very soon, because I know, do you remember the whole thing about like how it took so long to film the second Avatar? Because like it was in the water. Like I watched the setup of that and I just thought the lengths people could go to for something like that was absolutely insane.
Yeah, I agree. So that's great. We're getting a third one of that, and I think they're even, begin development of the fourth. So we're really get the ball rolling. James Cameron's a busy man.
Very busy, yeah.
We also got a new trailer for Moana 2.
I have, yes. I've seen Moana. I'm a big fan of Moana.
Are you a big Moana fan? You know, it's literally one of my biggest gaps. I haven't seen Moana. I know. I'm embarrassed.
That's brave to admit.
I know.
I love Moana. Like, I thought it was such a beautiful movie, and like the soundtrack was just like, I would listen to that in my own time, and like that's saying something. So
I've heard great things. It's not that I don't want to. I have been going back and watching a bunch of the animated films. I watched Turning Red recently, Soul, films like that. And for some reason, Moana's always on my list, and I think it's because I'm not a big musical guy.
Yes.
That's why I'm like, it's never, I'm like, I'll sit down. Oh, I kind of want to watch one of the other ones that isn't. Like, it's a mindset thing.
I so understand, like, sitting down to see a movie, like, you're never like, in the nicest way possible, you're never like, I want to go watch Minions. Like, I want to put Minions on the TV right now, you know?
So,
like,
they also announced as well that we're getting a live-action Moana expected in 2026. So you got Moana 2 and a live-action one. And I'm assuming we'll have The Rock and stuff back for that and things like that as well.
Yes. No, that is very exciting. I'm very excited.
Does that make you
see
excited?
That.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I was saying, like, I think I'm such a musical person. As much as I want to deny those allegations, like, I love a musical, and so that's why I think it, like, connects with me a lot. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I'll run through some of the other ones, and you stop me if there's one that really interests you, because I think some of these we kind of expected, but other ones I thought were really interesting. So we got an Inside Out miniseries coming. It's a spin-off TV show. It's called Dream Productions, which is about the development of Riley's dreams.
Yeah, I think that was that was so expected. I knew the second we got Inside Out 2, I was like, there's going to be a TV series.
As soon as it became the highest grossing film of the year, I went, we're going to get more from Inside Out.
Yes.
So that's coming in 2025, and it's going to take place between the first two films.
Beautiful.
So I think Riley's expected to be around 12.
Right.
We also have Zootopia 2. I've seen Zootopia. I like that one.
Iconic.
Yes.
What an iconic film. That's exciting.
Yeah.
I don't have much to say on that, but I also loved, like, when that first movie came out, I was so obsessed.
I saw that one in the theaters.
So
I loved that one. That was a great one.
That'll be fun. That'll be a very fun movie.
Yeah. So that's 2025 as well, November 26th. And they showed a clip at D23 for the people who were there, and it was Judy and Nick reuniting, attempting to solve another case. Another case with that. We also had Incredibles 3 announcement.
Oh, so excited.
Yep, with the director returning, Brad Bird.
Excited.
Yep.
I literally rewatched both Incredibles the other week.
Really?
I was just like, like, they are such good movies. They're so perfect. And so I'm very excited about that one.
Yep. I agree. We have Mandalorian and Grogu coming as an upcoming feature film. So it's making Mandalorian is disappearing from Disney Plus, or not disappearing, but it's making the leap to theaters. So that's exciting. As a big fan of the Mandalorian. Yeah.
Wow. Wait, not the TV show.
The TV show. So they're doing a film now that's going to come out in 2026.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So it's a feature film going to come out in the theaters. So
that's crazy.
Yeah.
The whole Star Wars franchise. Like, it's so never ending.
Yep.
But I love it. I love
it too. We did have some more. We actually got a new TV show for Disney Plus called the Star Wars Skeleton Crew. It looks to be for a slight younger audience.
It's so funny to me going onto, like, the Star Wars tab in Disney Plus, and it just goes and goes, and the amount of TV shows that they can make out of it is crazy. Watch
Andor. That's all I'll say. I'm an Andor supporter. That's one of the best Star Wars TV shows. I recommend that. We also got a trailer for Daredevil Born Again. That was, again, specifically for people at D23. So, fans of Daredevil from the Netflix TV show. It's coming back. We also got some footage of the Ironheart series, Percy Jackson and the Olympians. It's getting a season 2. And everyone's joking that the actor's voice has gone from so young in season 1 to so much older in season 2.
Yeah, it is. It's so chronic. It happens every time.
Yeah.
But, like, I haven't watched Percy Jackson, like, well, yeah. But I've seen it in the background. It seems pretty good.
I've heard really good things about it.
Yeah.
The first 2 original shows that Disney have announced, or movie as well, is Elio, which is a new film from Pixar. And
I think I've seen a bit of it. Yeah.
Seen a bit of that. Yeah. It follows 11-year-old Elio Solis as he accidentally becomes the intergalactic ambassador of planet Earth when aliens beam him up to their world. And Zoe Saldana voices Elio's aunt. So a new original Pixar film, which is really exciting.
That is exciting.
We also have a new animated series called Win or Lose. It's about a co-ed middle school softball team, the Pickles, as they prepare for their big game. So yeah, we're getting another original film.
Cool.
And Pixar again with another original film. Hoppers. It's about a young girl, Mabel, who swaps brains with a robot beaver and goes undercover in the animal kingdom to unite the other animals to fight off a real estate development plan.
Huh. Okay.
Did you ever think that you wanted a Pixar film about a girl who swaps brains with a beaver?
Not something I ever thought I'd wanted, but now I need it.
It's now my most anticipated film of 2026. We also have Toy Story 5. Of course we do.
What?
Toy Story 5.
Oh, this is the first I'm hearing.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm not that. Yeah, because I'm not that locked into Toy Story anymore because I thought they were done.
No, they're back with Toys vs Technology.
Oh, that's good.
It's good.
That's good.
But yeah, I don't know.
I don't know either.
We'll have to see. That's how I feel about it.
But that's going to be something that, everyone's going to that.
And I know you're excited for this one. Dwayne Johnson in a new live-action film called Monster Jam about big motorsport monster trucks.
Love it.
We all needed that. I didn't know I needed that until today, but I needed that. Yeah. So that is the D23 slate.
Love.
But we also have a little announcement, but that is very important to me. And that is that for Tron 3, Tron Ares, we have 9 Inch Nails doing the score. Now, I don't know if I've ever spoken to you about it. I seem to talk the ear off a lot of people. But the Tron Legacy soundtrack is amazing by Daft Punk. And so it was really important to me who was coming back to do the soundtrack for the third one. And a film that you and I were actually talking about before we aired was Challenges. And they did the score for Challenges.
Okay. So, like we were saying, I'm not a big fan of Challenges, but I cannot deny they had a banging soundtrack.
Yes.
It had a banging soundtrack.
I remember in the theater when that camera shot from the wide behind the umpire and then the music just starts and it's this like techno 80s amazing soundtrack and it just starts panning in on them playing tennis and I went, this film's for me.
Just
I loved
speak
it.
about that for a second though, because as much as I did love like the music and especially the techno, what I found really bizarre about the sound design was like the way it like just stopped sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like the sauna scene. Do you remember that?
I do remember that, yes.
It was like someone was just like fucking around with like a a press like play and pause button. Like,
I know what you mean.
They would like it would just like start playing so loudly and you'd be like, oh, okay, like something's gonna happen. And then like I swear in that scene it just stopped.
Yeah.
And I was like,
it does.
me and my friend were like, what?
Yeah.
That's why I was like so confused with some parts. But that's nothing to do with like the actual soundtrack. That's how they've cut it together.
Cut it together, yeah. I really liked it. I thought it had just this drama and kind of kineticism to it that I really enjoyed. And I'm also a massive tennis fan, so it's kind of...
I love tennis too. I had
such
high expectations, but if we're being honest, it wasn't really.
It wasn't about tennis. Yeah. I love that scene where the ball, like it goes from the perspective of the ball and it's like all done in VFX and all that. I loved it.
We were laughing at that point
it's
because
so
we
cool.
were like, what is happening?
It's brilliant.
They
go Luca.
I think to me it was just so many cuts.
There was,
go from like the POV to the ball to there was like a POV of the racket.
Yeah.
A POV of
I
like
loved
those
it.
guys, and I was like, what is happening?
It was almost
right
like,
now?
let's just do every type of filmmaking technique in tennis. Let's just give it a bash. Like, I was so for it.
I was like, what is going on? I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought it was... I'm a little bit of a, like, I don't think it was a great film, but I can appreciate some of the aspects of what they were And
That's
some of the
fair.
stuff they did. It was cool.
Yep. Yep. Well, so that is everything that came out of D23 with those announcements. So we have some fun ones there. A lot of there was also some more Marvel stuff, but I've kind of spoken about that before, and it wasn't
Yeah.
anything that was that new, except for some
Yeah.
of the new first looks. But I also want to run through some of the new films that are coming out the next couple of weeks, and whether you're interested in those at all. But we have Blink Twice, directed by Zoe Kravitz, starring Channing Tatum. And it looks to be sort of like a revenge thriller type thing. I don't know if you've had
Oh,
a
no, I
chance to
was
see that.
thinking of the wrong movie because Channing Tatum, he's in another one, the
He is.
Fly Me to the...
Fly Me to the Moon.
Yeah.
I have seen that.
Yeah. Oh, do you see it? Do you like it?
I liked it. I actually liked it.
'Cause I
It's a
wanna
fun
see it.
rom-com.
I want to see it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a rom-com.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I knew
it
there
is.
was like a little rom-com part of it, but I didn't think it was like
No.
that was the...
There's a lot more to it. There's a lot of elements, but that it's kind of it is like that. But what I found is it's one of those rom-coms where you're really interested in the careers of the people because they've got like such interesting careers during the space race and
Yeah.
stuff.
Alright,
So I was a
cool.
big fan of that one. But Blink Twice, definitely have a look at it. Zoe Kravitz is a well-known actress. I mean, she was
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
Divergent series and all those. But I haven't heard much about it yet, but I'm going to go see this one next week. I'm really interested in it.
Alright.
I wanted to ask you, so you're a big Sofia Coppola fan.
Yes, I do like Sofia Coppola. She's
Look,
one of my
I
faves.
like to engage with my guests and their passion for film. So I asked Emma whether who her favourite filmmaker was, what about film intrigues her, and Sofia Coppola was the answer.
Can I preface something?
Go for it.
I opened this message like I was in such a rush going to the station, and I was like, and he was like, "Who's your favorite director?" And I was like,
Yeah.
I was trying to think of like what my like favorite films are, and I was thinking like Lost in Translation. I was like, I love Sofia Coppola.
Yeah.
And then I also messaged you Mary Herron
Yes.
because
Yes.
she directs American Psycho.
American Psycho.
Which I thought was like when I watched that, I thought that was like one of the most genius movies I've ever watched. So I really love her, but I don't like. I'm so not locked into any directors. I'm just like I like those movies that they make.
Yeah. So true. So true. So, would you like to play the 60-second Sofia Coppola trivia?
Oh shoot, yeah.
Should we do
Let's
it?
do it.
Let's see how you do.
We're gonna have to. If I get
Right.
every single one wrong, you're gonna have to cut this. So.
Lock in. Are you ready? So, the 60-second Sofia Coppola challenge. Hang on, let me get it up. Okay. So you have 1 minute to answer these questions about your favorite filmmaker.
That's so unfair.
Play along at home. See how you go. Let's do this. Right. Question number 1. Sofia Coppola was the first American woman to be nominated for an Academy Award for Best Director. In what year was this nomination?
Oh no, but I'm gonna go with. Oh, it would have been. I'm gonna say 1990s is 1998.
No.
No.
I'll give you a hint. It's above that, but under 2006.
Oh, 2000 and... Okay, I was in, like, the same realm, because I
You
was
were.
going to go early 2000s. 2004?
Yes.
Yes!
Correct. Well done.
Okay.
How many times has Kirsten Dunst appeared in a Sofia Coppola film?
I have no idea. Oh, I'm going to go with 3.
That is the answer everyone thinks it is. So I will give you like a half point for
I'll
that.
take
It's
it,
actually
I'll take
4 because she cameoed in The Bling Ring. And people often don't count that. But 3 actual character roles. So I'll give you that.
All right. Guys,
What
pretty
is...
good at
This is a fun question. I don't know how much you know about IMDb, but you know what they have that known for? The 4 top known for films of the filmmaker on IMDb.
Oh.
And sometimes it's some of the wackiest films they do.
Yeah.
But I want to ask you, what are Sofia Coppola's top 4 most known for films on IMDb? Her top 4 most known for.
It has to be Lost in Translation and Priscilla. No. No.
Lost in
What
Translation.
else did she direct? Did she do the one with Timothy Chalamet?
No. I know the one you're thinking of, but no. Do you want me to tell you?
Yes, you're
The
gonna.
Godfather Part 3,
Oh, okay, yeah.
The Virgin Suicides,
Oh, yeah.
Lost in Translation, and The Beguiled.
Okay, I would have never got that. I don't know
No.
how I didn't get the Virgin Suicide.
No, I know. That's the
Okay,
one I
yeah.
thought you would have got.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe you'll know this one, but Sofia Coppola has one word on her Instagram bio. What is that word? She has one word on the bio. That's it.
Director?
Close.
Film.
Close. What do you call someone who makes films?
Filmmaker.
Yep, that's the one.
Okay.
What was Sofia Coppola's first feature film?
First feature film.
1999.
Lost in Translation.
No, before that. There's one before that. We have mentioned it before. 3 words.
Oh, The Virgin Suicides?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, well done. And a bonus question, which I don't think you'll get, but I think you'll find this fascinating. What famous fairy tale story was Sofia Coppola attached to direct in 2014, but left due to creative differences?
Wait, sorry, repeat that question.
What famous fairy tale story was Sofia Coppola attached to direct in 2014, but left due to creative differences?
Beauty and the Beast?
Close, but no.
Oh.
You're on the right wavelength in that kind of
That just
Disney
seems
stuff.
like a movie she would have really
Yeah.
liked.
It's probably not one you'd expect, but you're in the same sort of...
Cinderella?
No.
No, I'm trying to think about what came out during that time.
Yeah. I'll give you a hint. It has a lot of water in it.
Water?
The ocean. Specifically.
Oh, The Little Mermaid?
The Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was for Universal Pictures. The Little Mermaid for
That's
Universal.
so interesting.
How interesting is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I actually watched Priscilla in order. Like, when you told me you're a Sofia Coppola fan, I went, I haven't...
See, Priscilla was not actually, like, one of my favorite movies of hers.
Oh, really?
I didn't love Priscilla.
Okay.
And I think it's honestly, like, I did not like it as well. Like, I did enjoy the movie. But, I don't know. I think I had higher expectations. And
Fair.
I think the publicity around it as well, like, was very big. And, like, there was so many clips of it. And I was like, this is going to be such a good movie.
Yeah.
But, yeah. I don't know. It just didn't live up to, like, my expectation.
I watched it last night and I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
As you said, it didn't, like...
Blow me away.
Yeah, but I also think I was never a big Elvis fan, or I didn't know about the Priscilla story, so I don't think it was for me. But I appreciated the filmmaking aspects of it. I thought it looked great, and I thought it was well acted.
The
and
costuming as well was insane.
beautiful, yeah.
I like when Elvis came out. I don't know what it was. I loved it.
Yeah, I loved Elvis.
I loved Elvis.
Yeah, I did too.
I watched that movie. It's a 3-hour movie.
Yeah.
I think I watched it like 5 times in cinemas.
Really good, I
I was
agree.
obsessed with it, and I would take everyone with me to go see it because I was like, this is like the most insane movie I've ever seen. Like Baz Luhrmann, like he's crazy.
Yeah.
But I really liked that movie.
Me
and
too.
I think it was also that's also from like very much a standpoint that favors Elvis. This was a movie that was showing Elvis actually wasn't that great.
Yeah,
of a
exactly.
person, like
True.
all the time. So yeah, I don't know. I think it was maybe, but yeah.
There's a lot going on. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining me
good.
for this episode, the first visual episode. We've had a few kinks. I don't know how it's going to come out in the edit.
Yeah,
but
hopefully it pulls through. I reckon it will.
I think it will. But thank you very much, Emma.
You're so
I'd love to
welcome.
have you on again.
I'd love
Greatly
to come on
appreciate
again.
it.
No more quizzes though.
No more quizzes. Yes, I've learned. Yeah, no more quizzes. But thank you very much.
No
Greatly
worries.
appreciate it.
It's
And
been very fun.
look, follow Wet Money. Looking forward to
at
it.
Wet Money Film on Instagram. Get around it.
Hit them up.
Hit us up.
And while you're there, at the @clap_podcast, hosted by myself, we'd greatly appreciate any support. Thank you very much, and we'll see you on the next episode. Bye.